Welcome to this tutorial series. We simplify tech concepts to help you level up your skills and stay ahead in the fast-paced world of tech. We have already discussed the overall architecture in the previous section, so I won't go over that again. What's new here is the backup and restore functionality, which is crucial for ensuring our database's integrity and recoverability. Let's break it down step by step. For the backup process, we'll use a workflow that performs a MySQL dump. Now let's explain what a MySQL dump is. A MySQL dump creates a logical backup for our database. Essentially, it generates a .sql file containing all the SQL statements needed to recreate our database, including its structure and data. The workflow will store the backup file in a persistent volume claim at a path we specify right here. From there, it transfers the backup file to an AWS S3 bucket, our designated cloud storage. What makes the backup workflow special is that it's a cron workflow. A cron workflow is a type of workflow in Argo that allows us to schedule recurrent tasks, similar to like a cron job in Linux. For instance, we can set it to run daily, weekly, or any interval we choose, automating the backup process effortlessly. Now let's talk about the restore process. We'll create a separate workflow to handle the database restoration. This workflow will retrieve the backup file from the S3 bucket based on a file name parameter. It then stores the file in a temporary volume and uses it to restore the database with the MySQL restore command. This separation of workflows ensures that the backup and restores are independent, giving you the flexibility to manage each process efficiently. With the architecture out of the way, let's go ahead and set up the AWS environment. First, if you don't already have an account, sign up for the AWS free tier account. This allows you to experiment without incurring any significant cost. Here's my account. The first thing we want to do is to create the S3 bucket that will be used to store our backups. It's going to be a general purpose S3 bucket. If you're finding this valuable so far, this is just a fraction of what I cover in the full course. There, I guide you step by step from beginner to landing a DevOps SRE job and mastering Argo Workflows. You can find it in the link in the description. Since this is an experimental project, I just want to make it publicly available. For encryption type, I'm going to leave it to AWS S3 managed keys. This way, AWS handles all the encryption. Our S3 bucket has now been created, and as expected, there's nothing in it yet. The next thing we want to do is to create an IAM user that will be used by our workflow to programmatically access the S3 bucket. This is how I named the user. Next, we want to create a policy that gives this user full access to the S3 bucket. I'm going to keep the name of the policy simple. I'm now going to attach this policy to the user. Our user has now been created, but for programmatic access, we need an access key. Head over to the Security Credentials tab and let's create it. We plan to use this user using the AWS CLI command. This is probably the most important part. Make sure to copy and save the access key and the secret key. If you don't do it in this stage, you won't be able to access the secret key ever again. Finally, we will use the AWS Kubernetes secrets to securely store the AWS access key and secret key in the Argo namespace. We will also store the MySQL root credentials in the Argo namespace, and these two credentials will be used by our workflows in the comments section. Run the Kubernetes commands to create these secrets. Remember, our MySQL username is root, and the password is also root. Now let's see all the secrets in the Argo namespace. Nice, we can see them now. A brief description of the anatomy of our secret. This part is pretty much the name of the secret. And over here, we are defining the two parameters of the secret. First is username, and we define the value of the username here. The next parameter is password, and we define the value of password. And obviously, we are creating it in the Argo namespace. The same structure is used to create the secret for AWS credentials. This was just a small part of my full course that is already helping thousands of people break in DevOps, SRE, and cloud roles, and also mastering Argo Workflows. Right now you can grab it with a special discount, but only for the next 7 days. Make sure you do quickly because after that the price goes up. If you are serious about landing a DevOps, SRE, or cloud job, or future-proofing your career, make sure to check out the full course in the description.